Hi. So today, I would like to talk to you a little bit about merit systems. Now, merit systems are a product of reforms from the late 19th century and early 20th century. The purpose of merit systems was to create a politically neutral civil service. So public employees would be hired, promoted, and maintained on the basis of merit rather than having a spoil system. Because we went through a period in the early and mid 19th century where we had the spoil system, where the, the phrase "to the victor comes the goes to the victor goes the spoils" uh, comes from. So elected leaders would give away public positions to people that favored their political party. So public employment was very, very political and relied very heavily on party loyalty. And so there was this constant changing of people in uh, public employment positions based on party loyalties, and that becomes very corrupt over time. And so we needed civil service reform to try and cut down on political corruption. So the merit system was created in order to make sure that we were hiring the best people for the job, not the people most loyal to our political party. So, this merit system ensures that the selection, the promotion, and the retention of public employees was done more objectively and based on their ability to actually perform the job. The Pendleton Act of 1883 created a civil service commission that was in charge of overseeing this merit system. And since then, more and more jobs in the public sector, especially at the federal level, have become part of the merit system, where where bureaucrats don't get hired and fired based on who is president or governor. So, for example, if you work for the United States Postal Service and the presidency goes from being under the Democratic power to the Republican power, uh, you don't lose your job because because of the party that's in office. So our United States postal workers spend a career working for the Postal Service based on their ability to do the job, not their party loyalties. And so this merit system cuts down on corruption, but it creates some problems too of its own. It creates some problems too. So first, the merit principle. The merit principle seeks to make employee competence the major criterion in decisions for hiring and promotion. It's about whether you're good at what you do. If you've ever read or heard about or discussed merit raises, the idea of a merit raise is that you perform your job well and your raise is based on merit. Did you earn it? The merit system is very much like that. So, as a public employee, you're ranked, you're given a score based on your experience, based on your education, more experience means you rank higher on a civil service score, and you have a better ability to gain employment and keep it in the public sector. So the merit system is a, a set of legally established rules and procedures to implement the merit principle of recruitment, selection, promotion, retention, and compensation. So it's supposed to be objectively measuring whether somebody is performing their job well, rather than favoritism of just you're a friend of mine, you're party loyal, we've got these good jobs, here's these good jobs, we're firing the people who were in these jobs before, even though they were doing a fine job, they're just not part of our party. Now, in modern times. There's actually been some issues with the merit systems from both the administration standpoint in local, state, public administration, and from the standpoint of uh, collectively bargained agreements with public sector unions. So public employee unions have an issue with merit because because they wonder who gets to decide the merit, who gets to decide what merit is, and this merit system is very inflexible, which is actually a problem a lot of administrators have with it too. So let's tackle that first piece first. Who gets to decide what merit is? So when it comes to like public school teachers, if you're going to have merit pay, if you're going to decide to make raises based on merit, and you're going to decide to hire and fire people based on merit, or retain people and fire people based on merit, what do you consider merit? How do they earn keeping their job? If their students are getting A's, well, that creates really, really poor incentives for your public school teachers to then give away A's when maybe their students aren't actually learning, because if they don't have a certain percentage of A's in their class, they're going to lose their job, or they're not going to get a raise that year. Standardized testing. So if you're a teacher in a school district that historically does poorly on standardized testing, and your raise is based on standardized testing, or whether your contract is renewed is based on standardized testing, then you're set up for failure, because you've got a student population that has a number of other issues that go into how well they do on standardized tests that have little to do with the teacher, but they're going to fire you if those students don't do well on the test. This can create some really poor incentives for public education. And I'm just using public education as an example, but there are also other areas in public service where the merit system has problems. And creating merit systems for pay especially has problems. So you can see from the Atlanta school cheating scandal from years ago, if you have read or look that up, that certainly merit pay and basing merit off of standardized test scores creates some pretty terrible incentives for public educators and administrators. So who gets to decide merit? How do you measure merit? Some of that is very contentious among public employee unions and administration. Merit pay structures are pretty controversial, though that's the way a lot of employment has gone, to where all the raises are based on merit, or at least a percentage of the raises are based on merit. So then they have to try and figure out what is merit. That's easier in the private sector. If you're making widgets, you can decide if the company's making more widgets, then you can afford a higher raise. If somebody's doing a good job making widgets, then they have earned the raise theoretically. But in the public sector, a lot of it is service-based. You're not actually making anything. You're teaching students, and you're putting out fires, and judging how well people are doing those things becomes harder. So, for example, my father is a public school custodian. Having a public school custodian get merit raises is difficult to do. How do you judge whether he's sweeping a floor better than somebody else could sweep a floor, or scrubbing a toilet better than somebody else could scrub a toilet? So merit pay structures have this inflexibility and this there's a difficulty in figuring out what is merit. But elected officials don't always like merit either. So it's not just the public employees that don't really care for merit at times. And again, there's a positive to the merit system. The merit system rewards people who are doing their job well, and keeps things from becoming too corrupt, where you have these positions that are handed out based on favoritism and party loyalty. So there's a good thing with merit. But elected officials also have problems with with the merit system because it's inflexible in hiring uh, and decision making. You don't have the ability to make changes very quickly because once somebody is in the merit system and they've earned their position, they become harder to get rid of or reassigned to a new place. So then government can't adjust the workforce to meet the needs of the public as fast as private industry can, where you have at will employment, where your employer just says, we don't need you anymore. That's it. They don't need a reason to get rid of you. There's no merit system where you've earned your position, and you get to keep your position as long as you're doing your position well. If your position isn't needed anymore, we just get rid of you. That's at will employment. So that this is a trade-off. The merit system comes with a lot of job stability for workers, which is good. It's good for job satisfaction. It's it's good for the public to have more stability in public service, but at the same time, it's inflexible, and there are a lot of arguments over what merit actually is for each position. So I'll finish with a little bit about Georgia. Georgia actually eliminated the state's merit system for all new employees hired from 1996 and later. So the state of Georgia, at the state level, state employees have there's no merit system in place. So now most state employees serve as at-will employees, which is much more like the private sector, where your employer keeps you on as long as they need you. You're an at-will employee. It gives administrators a lot more flexibility in their workforce, but it leads to a lot less stability in the workforce too, because people are coming and going a lot. And that's all I have on merit systems. Thanks.